So imagine with me that we teach that song to all of our, let's say, fifth graders. That would be a good age. They would learn the song, and then we could ask them, when did Columbus begin? And they would say, well, the song said 1828. And who was our governor then? Forsyth. And who was the president? John Quincy Adams. And how big was the city? Well, the Commons was 1,200 acres with 9 streets running north and south. And how about the river? Where does the river begin? Up in the Blue Ridge Hills or the Blue Ridge Mountains? How far does the river run? 418 miles is what the song says, though some say 400 and some say 430. And then one little kid would probably raise his or her hand and say, but teacher, what about that line that says the fall line? What is a fall line? And we would explain to them that there is a layer of rock that crosses the state from Augusta to Macon to Columbus, and then it goes on west of here. It's just below the surface of the earth. And it crosses the river here. It's a rock formation. And because it crosses the river, if there are boats traveling up here from the Gulf, then they cannot go any farther north than where we are. And so the powers that be decided back in 1828, this would be the perfect location for a trade town because this is the terminus of riverboat travel. Well, about that time, some other little kid would raise his or her hand and say, but teacher, there was a line that said the mills moved in and the creeks moved out. What does that mean? And we would begin the long, meandering, and often tragic story of the native population that preceded the settlers here, the Creeks, the Creek Nation. They moved out. Somewhere in that long story, we would tell them the narrative, the little subchapter about Chief Mcintosh and Chief Minowa. Now, Chief Mcintosh was an interesting character. He was the son of an Indian woman named Sonoya and a white man from Scotland, a loyalist named William Mcintosh. And young Mcintosh grew up with a foot in both worlds. By the time he was grown, he was a business owner. He owned a plantation. He owned slaves. He was very vested in the American dream. And he was, politically speaking, I suppose, a pragmatist. He could see the handwriting on the wall, and he knew eventually we're going to all be pushed out of here. And so he advocated the position of the United States government, which was that we should relocate that native population somewhere else. That's Mcintosh. At the other end of the spectrum is this fellow, Minowa. Now, Minowa was very loyal to the interests of the Creek Nation. In 1814, at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend, he was wounded 7 times, but escaped with his life. The Creek Indians lost that battle, and as a result of that, also lost 22 million acres of their land, but not the land that we are sitting on tonight. That was still theirs, until the federal government went to Mcintosh and said, we would like to buy all of your land east of the Chattahoochee. And because he had the power to sign treaties, he was willing to accommodate them. Well, imagine with me that the day of the signing has been set, and Minowa and those sympathetic to his position in the Creek Tribal Council send a message to Mcintosh. That message, that letter would have been dated February 1825, and it might have read something like this. We are brave and not yet broken. We are small, but we are strong. We have learned that on tomorrow, Chief Mcintosh, you'll sign away our home. It's not your land, and it's not your river. not your forest, is not your sky. We've been here for generations, and it's on this land we intend to die. If you sign that paper, you will die in shame. If you sign that paper, you will bear the blame. If you sign that paper, as long as we remain, we will curse your Mcintosh name. Curse your Mcintosh name. It's all too clear just how they bought you to betray your mother's tribe, your house and slaves, and that big plantation give you power. You took the bribe, but if you sign that paper, you will die in shame. If you sign that paper, you will bear the blame. If you sign that paper, as long as we remain, we will curse your Mcintosh name. I bear the scars from the battle that we fought and that we lost at Horseshoe Bend. But you can trust that if we have to, you can trust that if we must, we'll fight again. If you sign that paper, you will die in shame. Sign that paper, you'll bear the blame. If you sign that paper, as long as we remain, we will curse your Mcintosh name. Curse your Mcintosh name. We will curse your Mcintosh name. We will stand up proud and curse your Mcintosh.